If your ex clearly hates you, is it too late to get them back? Not necessarily. Now, I'm Brad Browning, aka Breakup Brad, and in this video I'll explain what to do when you want your ex back, but they currently ignore you or flat out tell you that they hate your guts. Now, I'm going to give you some tips and guidance to help you diffuse your ex's emotions and turn the ship around so you can eventually get back together. Now, obviously, I can't guarantee that the strategies that I'll be covering in this video will work for you because every situation is unique. But I can promise you that I've seen many of my coaching clients overcome similarly dire-looking scenarios and successfully get their ex back. So I know that these techniques can and often do work. At the very least, you can be confident that you'll be giving yourself the best possible chance of starting over with your ex. The first thing you need to do is figure out how bad your situation really is. Sure, maybe the last time you saw your ex, he or she told you, that they never wanted to speak to you ever again. But honestly, we all say things in the heat of the moment that aren't true, or at least things that aren't reflective of our true feelings. So, some questions to ask yourself. Number one, how long has it been since the breakup? Now, the longer it's been, and the more you've been trying already to get back together without any luck, the tougher it's going to be to reverse things and win them back. Number two, what did you do to cause your ex's current feelings towards you? So if you've been a terrible person for months or even years, if you've done all sorts of horrible stuff to your ex, especially things like cheating, lying, etc., then quite frankly, you're in a tough spot, and deservedly so. But for most of you, it's probably only a few things that cause them to hate you. And you'll be a lot more likely to be able to overcome those mistakes and repair trust with your ex. But really try to be honest with yourself and really determine how bad you've been to your ex and whether it's realistic that they'll be able to actually get over that. Thirdly, how many times has your ex made their feelings clear to you? I mean, guys, if your ex has gone to court to file a restraining order against you, that means it's over. If your ex is now married to somebody new, then that's also a pretty clear sign that it's over, it's time to give up, and it's time to move on. But thankfully, for most of you watching this video right now, things probably aren't that bleak. In fact, maybe they're not even as bad as you might think. For example, maybe your ex said they, never want to get back together and told you in no uncertain terms not to try to convince them to take you back. Now, in my experience, that type of thing is usually something your ex says because they know how tough it's going to be for them to stay broken up. Maybe they think that the breakup is the right thing to do, but they know that it'll cause them a lot of heartache and they'll be tempted to take you back just to make those feelings disappear. So by telling you that the breakup is final and that they don't want to hear from you, that's their way of trying to avoid the temptation of getting back together when they're heartbroken and missing you like mad. So really, you'll have to disregard your ex's words and instead think hard and identify all the things, or maybe it's just one big thing, that caused your ex to decide that they don't want anything to do with you anymore. The last thing you want to be doing right now is reminding your ex about the negative things that contributed to their decision to break up. You've hopefully already assessed your own situation and come up with at least a rough idea of what your ex is angry about or why they truly wanted to break up. And now it's time to stop doing all of those things that are making matters worse and begin to make positive progress towards turning things around. One easy way to stop doing any more damage to your chances? Well, stop reaching out to your ex altogether. Now this, of course, is basically my no contact strategy. And if you're not already engaged in no contact or you haven't gone through with the full 30-day period of radio silence, then start right now. If you're not talking to your ex or communicating with them in any meaningful way, you can't say or do things that are going to make matters worse. And no contact also has a number of other benefits, but I've talked about that in many of my other videos already, so I won't get into the details right here in this one. Now, if you've already finished an extended period of no contact, or you absolutely must communicate with your ex for some reason, then at the very least, make sure you don't have any kind of negative or serious talks with your ex. If you have to chat with them, keep the encounter fun and upbeat, and don't bring up anything remotely serious. Just pretend to be happy and avoid reminding him or her of anything that might trigger negative memories and emotions. Basically, just avoid making matters any worse than they already are. Now, the human brain is built for resilience, which means that we tend to subconsciously let go of negative memories and hold on to only the most positive, happy ones in the long term. It's basically a chemical mechanism hardwired into our genes to make sure that one bad experience doesn't put you in a state of depression for the rest of your life. And this same process also means that your ex's anger and any negative thoughts and memories they had of you at the time of your breakup are going to begin to fade from their mind shortly after the breakup. And eventually, everything that led up to their decision to break up with you are going to fade away, leaving them with just a few nostalgic, happy memories of your best times together. Now, that's great news if your ex is ignoring you or hates your guts right now, but you need to speed up this process. You can't wait for it to happen on its own. So for that very reason, I've come up with a few simple psychological hacks that you can use to help suppress your ex's negative memories and make them focus on the intimate experiences that you shared together when your relationship was still in the early honeymoon phase. Now, these are ridiculously subtle, under-the-radar tactics, like, just casually mentioning a really happy shared memory from your time together in the course of some kind of, unrelated conversation. So if you want to learn more about how you can tap into your ex's brain to reset their feelings about you and your possible future together, watch the full video on my website, breakupbrad.com. Because this is something that I delve into in that video, especially the part where I explain the rekindling phase of my 3R system. Again, you can watch that video for free at breakupbrad.com. At the very root, all breakups are fundamentally caused by the same thing, a loss of attraction. Not just physical attraction, but also romantic and emotional attraction. So to put it bluntly, if your ex was madly in love with you and would give anything to be with you, there's nothing they wouldn't be willing to do in order to make that happen. Love is the most powerful emotion in the human brain. So by making your ex feel that kind of burning attraction for you again, you'll be able to overpower any logical or rational reasons your ex has been using to justify your breakup. So whether they hate you or not, at that point will become irrelevant because they'll literally be willing to climb mountains to get you back. So your job at this point is to make your ex fall back in love with you, to rebuild their emotional and sexual attraction for you to the point where they can't help but beg for you to take them back. I know it probably sounds totally far-fetched right now, but I promise you that it can and does happen. Clients of mine, many of whom are facing equally challenging and perhaps even more dire situations than what you're experiencing right now, have had their ex pleading with them for another chance. Now, obviously, rebuilding this kind of attraction isn't going to happen overnight. But remember, you made your ex fall for you in the past. You did this already. You fell in love and your ex felt that burning, passionate attraction for you. So you know it's possible. You just need to transform yourself back into that person that they fell in love with early in your relationship. It's going to take time. You'll need to flirt like crazy and you'll need to read your ex's responses to ensure that you don't move too fast or make any mistakes along the way. But once you've got your ex feeling that same kind of burning desire that made them, want to be with you in the first place, it's really just a matter of saying yes when they suggest that you give your relationship another chance. Now, don't get ahead of yourself, because everything I've covered in this video is true, and it's something that's definitely possible for most of you watching this video right now. But you really need to start from step one. So visit my website, breakupbrad.com, watch the full video tutorial, employ a period of no contact, use my psychological tactics to subtly change your ex's feelings towards you. It's not complicated, but you need to get it right in order to have a chance. Now, my X Factor program breaks down the entire process, answering all the what-if questions that might pop up along the way. And as I mentioned, you can get a copy of the program at breakupbrad.com. But honestly, I'm not going to try and talk you into signing up. Just make sure you have a clear idea of how you need to proceed to get from here, where you are right now, to the point where your ex is asking you to get back together on their own accord. And stick to that game plan until it actually becomes a reality for you. All right, hopefully you found this video helpful. Feel free to leave your questions in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you again soon.